Let's go to the lineup now for our first race of the day. The Valvoline Miss Madison, Mike Hansen driving the U6. In the U12, Scott Pierce in the Miss Budweiser. U10 is the Winston Eagle. The driver is Mark Tate. Also in the field, the U19 Jackpot Food Mart 91X, Ken Muscatel, the driver, and we get word that the Oh Boy Alberto Pork Jerky, Mitch Evans, the U3, will not take the start. Looks like the Winston Eagle's going to hold on the outside and try to lead the pack across the field. Here they come down now, and it's going to be a good start. Winston Eagle is starting out in the lead.
Look at Winston Eagle as he honks across the bay. And now he's taking about a rooster tail lead over the Budweiser, who's on your right. Both boats crank. You'll see that extra rooster tail go up. And look at the track that Mark Tate from Detroit, Michigan is making as they come down the back chute.
Mark Tate on the outside. He's on the left of your screen. The Miss Budweiser. Scott Pierce on the inside with that extended scoop over the top. There's the Valvoline Miss Madison riding in third place. That's Mike Hansen out of Madison, Indiana. There's Winston Eagle. Mark Tate again taking the lead by about half a boat length over the Miss Budweiser on the inside. He hits the turn first, and hard into that turn he is, putting everything on the skid fin as the boat is held onto the water. Again, a look at the third place boat, the Valvoline Miss Madison. Mike Hansen driving it. There's Mark Tate in the lead, setting the pace for this race. This is always a challenge when the Winston Eagle and the Miss Budweiser go out side by side.
It's a little hazy here today as Mark Tate gets a little light. We're looking at our fourth place boat, the Jackpot Food Mart, with Ken Muscatel driving. That is a brand new boat that'll represent the state of Hawaii in our final event coming up later on in the year. As we look at our leader, 155.682, a new one-lap competition record. On Mission Bay, the old record was Chip Hanover last year in the Circus at 154.5. Look at him come, Dick.
He's got perfect attitude on that boat, Jim. He's riding in there just right. He's tiptoeing back and forth. But so is the Miss Budweiser, who's on the inside now. Winston Eagle looks like he's losing power. Winston Eagle, Mark Tate is going dead in the water. He's lost the rooster tail on the boat. He can get no more power to it. There you can see the Budweiser going past what remains of the rooster tail from the Winston Eagle. Oh, what a disappointment for this young man, Mark Tate. He had such a great run going, set a new record on the course, but now the show belongs to the Miss Budweiser in second place, also experiencing some troubles. The Valvoline Miss Madison just not quite running up to par. I don't know whether it's the salt water or what, but now that boat is still holding second. Third place, Ken Muscatel in the Jackpot Food Mart boat. He has an opportunity of maybe moving up on the Valvoline Miss Madison, because we say it's not quite up to par.
And you'll have to hurry because this is a 3-lap sprint, as all the preliminary heats are. Only half a lap to go for this one, the Miss Budweiser. In the first lap, the Winston Eagle had a better speed than the Budweiser by 10.2 miles an hour before something let go in the engine housing.
Disappointment for Mark Tate, who had such a good ride going in the Winston Eagle, but now this boat's still holding second place as the Valvoline Miss Madison. That's Mike Hansen, and as we said, he's experiencing some trouble with the turbine. We don't know what the problem is, but he is just not running it up to full speed. Coming down now for the checkered flag, the red and white Miss Budweiser. Scott Pierce taking the win here in Heat 1A. No better way to start the day. Second place goes to the Valvoline Miss Madison. Third place to the Jackpot Food Mart. Let's go to Jim in the pits.
Talking to Bernie Little, the owner, Scott Pierce, the driver. Now, Scotty, I don't think you got the power you wanted for that particular heat, did you?
Well, I thought I had, but going into the first turn, it was obvious that Mark was really running well, and he beat me, pretty fairly and squarely. And luckily for us, we have a two-prong approach at Budweiser. We naturally depend upon being the fastest, and we will get faster. But we also depend very much upon our saltwater equipment to help us get through the whole heat. If you turn your engines that high, you're probably going to burn them up. At least that's what happened the first heat.
We'll be back as we continue with the Budweiser Cup on Mission Bay from San Diego, California in just a moment. In this race, it'll be the American Spirit, Mark Evans in the U50. The U9, Ms. Close Time, Jack Schaefer Jr., the driver. The U2 T-Plus Teflon, Steve David out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Marshall and the lady, Jerry Hopp in the U7. One boat not starting in this race is the UR5 Edge Superior Performer. That is Larry Lauderback driving that out of Virginia.
Here they come down for the start here on Mission Bay. It's a 2.5 mile saltwater oval, and this is known by many to be what they say is the fastest race course in the world, Dick Crippen. And look at them come in to number 1 and 2 corners as they come around the back chute.
Mark Evans in the American Spirit taking the lead on the inside. That's the blue boat with the red and white tail. This is the T Plus Teflon riding in second place. Steve and David. Steve actually led across the line and into the turn, but the outside boat has a little bit of a disadvantage running a further course. He can keep his speed up, but if a boat can run good on the inside, he's going to have the advantage, and we see the inside boat being challenged now. The American Spirit, Mark Evans, is your leader, and as he goes into the turn, he handles beautifully and is able to hold off the challenge from Steve and David.
Real good action as the American Spirit, which is partially sponsored by Easter Seals for this race, bounces through the rough water. As we look at the close time, Jack Schaefer Jr. currently in third place. But we've got a challenge for the lead. And look at Steve David from Pompano Beach, Florida, come down that front chute to complete lap number 1.
Looks like these two boats are about as evenly matched as we're going to see out here on the course today. The water is going to be the difference, and the way the boats handle in it. You can see the big over scoop, if you will, of the boat on the outside, the one nearest to you on your screen. That is the T Plus Teflon, Steve David, getting a lot of clean air in there, hoping to avoid all the salt water coming in. No modification at all on the inside boat, the red, white, and blue American Spirit by Mark Evans. They're just taking their chances, and so far doing very well. They are now in second place. This is your third place boat, Automotive Power on it, and it is Jack Schaefer Jr. in Miss Close Time. Steve David now on the outside, has a little bit of advantage. Let's see if he can hold his speed up through the turn and hold off the challenge on the inside.
We're looking at a third place boat, Jack Schaefer Jr. from Southern California in the Miss Close Time. Meanwhile, our leader, Jim Harvey's T Plus with Steve David in the cockpit. He's increased his speed by almost 4.5 miles an hour, up to 138.7, as we look at Marshall and the lady, Jerry Hop, currently in fourth place.
And Jim, I think we ought to point out where the name Marshall and the lady came from.
It is a guy and a gal that are doing big videos and a new record coming out. It is a duo, and it's a country rock duo to be exact.
Well, it's a little bit more fun to have a boat like that out on the course. There's American Spirit, a very beautiful boat, now riding back in second place, but you can see he is not let off at all. Stephen David has taken a command on the outside, but it's by about 2.5 boat lengths. Meanwhile, Jack Schaefer Jr. just continues to plow through the water and keep that boat in. A little bit light at times, but he's really managed to control the boat. He's having one of the best runs he's had all season.
They're coming down now. The checker flag is waiting for Steve David for the first time today here at San Diego Mission Bay. And Jim Harvey's crew worked all through the night getting this boat ready for Steve. And he'll take the checker flag winner in Heat 1B. And here's the official scoreboard, the way they finished here in 1B. Let's go to the pit area and Steve Montgomery.
Steve David, the winner of Heat 1B. You had to get around him on the outside. Any problems?
Oh, no, I tell you, Mark Evans is a great racer and just gave me a heck of a race. And they're a good team, and they've worked hard all weekend to battle the salt. And our team just did a miraculous job overnight to make this boat run in salt water. We're really happy with this win. Without T Plus and that engine to keep that salt down, we'd have never finished.
We'll be back with more from Mission Bay on the Eagles Snacks. Well, we've got some more drivers out on the course ready to try to get some more points. Valvoline Miss Madison in lane number 1, lane 2 Miss Budweiser, Winston Eagle in lane 3, Jackpot Food Mart in lane 4. Rounding out the field is Oh Boy Alberto Pork Jerky. That's Mitch Evans.
And here's the start of Heat 2A, and it's Winston Eagle on top right away, shooting out of there, coming across that starting line on the right. In the very tight corner now is the Miss Budweiser. The Winston Eagle is on the left, and look at this race going on. These boys are going all out on this saltwater course.
Miss Budweiser getting a little bit light coming out of the turn, but Scott Pierce holds on to the boat, and she's riding beautifully on the water now. Still the challenge on the outside to the left of your screen is Mark Tate in the Winston Eagle. More of the boats back in the field now as the Valvoline Miss Madison is being passed up. Here's your lead boats, and it is right now the U10 Winston Eagle. Winston Eagle fighting very hard. After all, he's got to try to make up some points if he can. He had some problems in the first race, and this time it reverses. Miss Budweiser's the boat that goes down this time around. Scott Pierce. I don't know whether these turbines are having any trouble with the salt water or not, but this is the second turbine today to go down on the course while it was in the lead.
Well, it looks like it's their turn. You know, when you have unanswered points in this World Championship for the Eagle Stacks High Points. Oh, look at the Winston Eagle. Mark Tate doesn't know the Budweiser's down. The way he's driving, I'm sure he doesn't know at this point.
It doesn't appear that way because he's staying on it. He'll be radioed and told that they're now in the race by themselves, out in the lead. The second place boat on the right of your screen is the Valvoline Miss Madison, as you can see, being challenged by Mitch Evans. Mitch Evans trying to bring up the Old Boy Oberto beef jerky boat. So far, quite a challenge for second place. They thought they were vying for third, but when the Miss Budweiser went out, Winston Eagle took over the lead, and now the Valvoline Miss Madison, Mike Hansen, trying to hold that boat in there, and those two boats are just about side by side. Here comes Mitch Evans on the outside. He's going to tie him up as they go into the turn.
Look at this race for second place. Old Boy Oberto with Mitch Evans. Here's your leader coming down the complete lap number 2. Speed on lap number 1 for the Winston Eagle, 151.184.
It appears that the Winston Eagle, Mark Tate, has now gotten the word that he is the only boat out there in the lead. He was going to try to test out the course a little bit more. He knows the Budweiser crew comes in here with more engines and more equipment. He knows when that boat gets towed back into the pits here in San Diego, that boat is going to be back out on the course shortly thereafter with a brand new engine. So he wants to find out how this water will treat his boat, how the boat will react to various conditions. This is a good chance for him to test with nobody else around him. The battle is indeed in second place. There's the battle to the right of your screen. The Valvoline Miss Madison now taking over second place is Mitch Evans in the Old Boy Oberto beef jerky boat.
What a battle we have, and as the checker flag is winning, it is Mitch Evans taking over second place for the Valvoline Miss Madison.
And Jim, it's a new record for the Winston Eagle, 3 laps, 7.5-mile course. The old record was Chip Hanauer on this course in the Circus last year at 150.8. The new record, 151.207.
And it's a win for the Winston Eagle. Old Boy Oberto with Mitch Evans will finish second. Meanwhile, not finishing is the Miss Madison. That'll give third place to the Jackpot Food Mart.
Here's your final finish. Winston Eagle taking home the prize, and it's got to be a proud moment. Let's go down to the pits and talk with Mark Tate. Jim?
Steve Woomer and Mark Tate. And Steve, he who giveth taketh away. 40 unanswered points the last heat, and all of a sudden it happens to the Budweiser camp.
Yeah, I went a little shocking there. I guess maybe tit for tat or something, I don't know. But Mark did a heck of a job there and went around him, and shortly after he did, something went wrong with their motor, obviously. So the Winston Eagle's plenty happy.
We're down to a 2-boat heat in 2B, and here's the way the action went. The T Plus Teflon with Steve David and the American Spirit with Mark Evans answered the call. Out of action was the Jack Schaefer entry, missed close time. It did not start. Marshall and the lady, Jerry Hopp, also did not start. And Larry Lauterbach couldn't get the engine going in the Edge Superior Performance here on the salt water.
And Jim, the heat was decided early because the boat that got the good start on it was the T Plus Teflon boat of Steve David. He took it right off the gun, and he was able to hold his lead all the way around the course. You can see, though, that these drivers do like to keep the speeds up on these boats, even when they know they have a race won. They want to find out how the boat's going to react. And actually, the water has smoothed down considerably over the day. The boats are riding a lot smoother, so that means they may want to adjust some things back in the pit as they get ready for the final later today.
What this does mean is these two boats have a leg up in the final and will not have to compete in the 3-lap last chance heat to fill out the final field. As we're looking at the Easter Seal entry for this race, American Spirit, the winner is the T Plus Teflon. Steve David averaging over 125 mile an hour. Let's go to the pits.
Steve David, the winner of Heat 2B, making it look easy so far.
You know, if you run T Plus and anything mechanical, it's that easy every day of the week.
Now, you're saying that because the new sponsor standing right here beside you, right?
Well, if he did make a good product, we wouldn't say it, you know. But the fact is the product works, and the boat's exhibiting it today. While some of the other turbines are having saltwater problems, the T Plus allows this thing to keep running.
Well, let's hope the boat works as perfectly in Heat 3A, the Old Boy Oberto pork jerky, and that is Mitch Evans as driver. Mark Tate in the Winston Eagle, the U10, will be competing in this one, as will the Valvoline Miss Madison with Mike Hansen out of Madison, Indiana, driving. Also the Miss Budweiser, Scott Pierce. He's looking for another win. Both the Winston Eagle and the Miss Budweiser have won one and lost one so far today. Ken Muscatel will be in the U-19, the Jackpot Food Mart boat. There's the start of the Winston Eagle. One more time, Mark Tate is going to put it out front. Now, Jim, he has had a problem in the first heat when he was leading. That's when the boat broke. The same, oh, he gets a little bit loose on the water. The same thing happened to the Miss Budweiser when they fought again. That boat was leading when it went down, so I don't know, maybe it's bad luck to lead off the start.
Let's see if they can keep it all together. Look at Mitch Evans and the Oberto pork jerky sneak up on the inside, but our leader who nailed that start right on the money, Mark Tate, leading the way as they go down the corner number 3 on lap number 1 of 3.
And I mentioned earlier, it appears that the water has gotten a little bit smoother here on Mission Bay, and it's a beautiful ride for the Winston Eagle boat, Mark Tate. The Miss Budweiser trying to catch him now, trying to get up on the outside of him. He's just buried in that rooster tail out there. You can't see him through the veil, but he is there a couple of boat lengths back. There's a good shot. You can see Scott Pierce now. He's trying to keep that scoop out of the salt water of that rooster tail, and that's not too easy because that water does spray around. We might tell everybody, too, Jim, that the force of that rooster tail, they have to be very careful with it, and driving alongside it, you've really got to watch your line closely. It's equivalent to 7 tons of water. The boat treats it like solid water and literally will ride up the back of the tail.
I've seen it in years past where a boat has closed the lane too soon. The boat in back actually rode the rooster tail right up as high as 15 to 20 feet.
I notice here that we can see the canards appear to be up on the Miss Budweiser, meaning he's trying to hold the nose down. There you can see that Winston Eagle got a little light, as did the Budweiser coming into the same point.
The wind is coming down. This is the course where the famous duo flip. The wind came across on this very same back chute, and the boats are starting to fly now as the wind picks up, cornering out of corner number 3, going over towards corner number 1. They have to be careful.
This is one thing you have to remember. When these guys are racing upwards of 220 miles an hour on the straightaways, they are not only battling the forward force of the boat, but they've got the water and the currents under the boat, and they also have the wind currents affecting them as they make each turn. They've got to be very attuned to the feel of the boat. It is going too fast for them to do anything but react as second nature. They've literally got to fit the boat like a glove and feel and react to it just like a glove.
And Mark Tate is taking the Winston Eagle to victory at an average of over 150 mile an hour. His second checkered flag of the day. The Valvoline Miss Madison, Mike Hansen, voted to stay on the beach to try to get ready for the next heat. They will now have to go at the last chance heat if they are to make the final field.
And the winner, the Winston Eagle, Mark Tate. Miss Budweiser, oh boy, Alberto in third, and Jackpot Food Mart rounding it out.
Down here with Mark Tate. Mark, it looks very smooth run for you.
Oh, absolutely. The Winston Eagle just performed beautiful all 3 heats. We lost a hot in the first heat, but, you know, credit goes to the crew getting the motors in and out and handling the saltwater problem.
You came in 300 points down to Miss Budweiser in the National High Point Chase Eagle Snacks Trophy. Now you're exactly 300 points behind, but you have a chance in the final to make up some ground.
Yeah, we can make up 100 points at least in the final if we would place a first and they place a second, and that's our ultimate goal, to try and close that gap going into Hawaii. And if the Winston Eagle can keep performing the way it's been today, it might be happening.
There's one of the turbine boats now as we get ready for Heat 3B. This will be the final of our qualifying heats today, with the exception of the last chance, which will be coming up before the championship. American Spirit, U50, Mark Evans. The U2T Plus Teflon, Stephen David driving. There's the Edge Superior Performer, Larry Lauterbach, the UR5, and the Marshal and the Lady you just met, Jerry Hopp and that crew from the U7.
The UR5 Edge Superior Performer Larry Lauterbach is not starting for this heat, so we're down to 3 boats. The T Plus Teflon with Steve David and American Spirit with Mark Evans. All they have to do is to finish. They'll make the finale and not have to worry about the last chance heat. And look at Jerry Hopp. He's out in front. He's going to go for it.
You know what I think happened? I think the 2 turbine boats kind of laid back saying, look, let's save the equipment. Let's take it easy going up there. After all, we're up against one of the aircraft engine boats. We'll just kind of ease it around, make a race of it, have a little bit of fun out there. Jerry Hopp looked back. He said, I got a shot at this, and he has flat put his foot in it. Look at the smoke pouring off of those cylinders.
Oh, the Marshal and the Lady is going to show them the short way around the course. And that rooster tail is really riding as he looks for smooth water on the outside. The American Spirit doesn't seem to be running that well. Look how low his rooster tail is, as is the T Plus Teflon. Not running as smoothly as in previous heats.
Well, we have to remember, too, that these boats, if they just finish, will qualify for the final heat. Jerry Hopp looking for his opportunity to get into that championship. And, of course, the two turbine boats, they want to save their equipment and make sure that everything's in readiness for the final championship run later today. There you see a good shot of the T-Plus Teflon. Steve David, he's got a good run on the boat. He's just not going to push it too hard. Jerry got such a good start at the beginning, there was no sense they were going to have to push hard to try to catch up to him. I think Mark Evans went up, tested the waters up there and said, you know, it's just not worth putting the boat over or taking a chance of breaking the boat up and all. Let's just ease off a little bit and take the rides. If we got the opportunity to move into position, we'll do it. Right now, though, Jerry Hopp isn't backing off at all. He's just going to get out there and put his foot right in it, get every ounce of power he can from the Marshal and the Lady. And right now, Jerry Hopp, who you just met before this race, we introduced you to his team, and here he is out in the lead.
Come on, Jerry, show him. Let's make that team. Let's win it.
I think everybody in the pit area will be rooting for Jerry Hopp. He is one of the most likable guys out there. He's a guy that everybody gets along with. Mark Evans moves out to the outside a little bit in the American Spirit. He's just not coming up to catch him at this point. He's trying to even him up on the outside. Look at the black smoke. You can see it through the rooster tail coming off as all cylinders are just punching hard. There's a little bit of looseness in the canopy, right behind the canopy, actually, the cowling of the American Spirit, and that may well be why Mark Evans isn't going any faster than he is at this point.
I don't know if he knows that. He may be able to feel it or hear it banging around back there, so maybe he's being cautious. But look at Jerry Hopp turning for the final time. The checkered flag is waiting for Marshall and the Lady, the U7 Thor Racing Team.
Buckle down in the pits. There's going to be a celebration tonight. I can guarantee you this crew has worked so hard. There it is. The checkered flag is out. You can hear the applause in the background. There you can see some of the crew. They're already celebrating. He's not even back yet.
For Jerry Hopp, many, many years in the Thunderboats, only a few victories. This has to feel pretty good.
Oh, this was really sweet. I'm happy for Marshall and the Lady. Thankful the crew put this thing together. We blew our engine in the first heat, and it takes so long to change an engine in one of these things. We couldn't make it out for the second one, and to go out and beat the turbines and outlast the piston boats is really great. I'd like to also mention Valvoline and Bendix Brakes because they're co-sponsors of ours, and we're just happy.
San Diego, California, Dick Crippen along with Jim Hendrick and Steve Montgomery. As we look at the Valvoline Miss Madison, Mike Hansen. This was the boat that in Heat 3A was unable to make it into the field, so they sat out the race. The only possibility this boat had of making it to the championship heat today was to run in this, the last chance heat. And here's a recap on it. Marshall and the Lady, Jerry Hopp, was running in third position on the race course. The U3, oh boy, Oberto Pork Jerky, Mitch Evans riding in second place. Now, finishing up in second place means that he becomes the trailer boat in the field. He sits off the pace by 15 seconds from the starting field. If one of those boats drops out, he can then move up. But the winner of the race in the consolation or last chance heat, the Valvoline Miss Madison, Mike Hansen.
Mike Hansen wins the consolation, puts the Valvoline Miss Madison in the final heat. You went the long route, but it's paid off.
It's almost become a habit with us this year. We've won all the last chances we've been in this year. Unfortunately, we've been in more than we'd like to brag about. But the boat seems to be running fine. We saved our best bullet for the final heat, and unfortunately, we had to use it for the last chance. But it seems to be running fine. I think we'll be sitting real strong for the final now.